So when we do design a network, today I'm going to give you a brief idea. We have 2-tier, 3-tier, and 4-tier technology. We can use any examples. In a simple network, let's say we discussed about 2-tier. 2-tier is nothing but all your edge devices are connected to access switch and respective server for that service has been connected to your core switch. As an example, this is your access switch and this is your core switch. Always we do design with a dual core switch 1 and core switch 2. What is the connection? This we'll explain later, which we call it as a stacking. Now you have a single access switch which is connected to link, and like you have a access point here, AP1 and AP2. Access point is using for Wi-Fi. This AP1 and AP2 required a server for getting SSIDs. You know SSID, right? In the phone, you can see in the Wi-Fi, there is a certain name, then you're putting the password. The name which you are seeing in the phone called SSID, Service Set Identifier. That SSID, password, privilege, bandwidth, and many more required details for the Wi-Fi solution are given by a server called WLC, wireless LAN controller, which is connecting to your core. Let's say core 1 and core 2. Or you may have, let's say, access control edge device that required a server, which is again you connected to the core 1 and core 2. So your client device, edge device is always connected to access switch and the respective server for the services that are connected to the core switch. In this case, we always say that it is a 2-tier technology. Then what is 3-tier technology? Let's say even in this, if you have camera 1 and camera 2 connected to your access switch, make sure your edge device, if the edge device doesn't have specific power port or power cable, they always rely on the switch. The switch must be PoE, power over Ethernet. So in this scenario, we have 2 cameras. These 2 cameras required a server for the configuration. We call it as a VMS, video management system. As an example, we're going to use iQuision, the server which can produce the services to the camera. One of the name is called NVR. That NVR will have a software called VMS, video management system. So this NVR is connecting to the core or to the core switch. This NVR by itself will also have a storage capacity to store the data from the CAM. So this core switch is physically located the room we generally called data center, DC, or we can also call it as MDF. And the access switch which located, we call it as an IDF. So in one design, you may have multiple IDF, but you generally will have single MDF. Okay. So what the MDF goes failed, what is the alternate solution? I'll explain later. We also call it as a DR, disaster recovery. If any device within the data center goes failed, there is an alternative similar product located in a different location. Keep in mind, different location, which is called DR. Have you been to any data center within Qatar anywhere? There's a data center and there is a DR here in Qatar, which is running by semi-government, like for example, MISA. They have a data center here in Doha. They have a disaster recovery, which is the replica or backup of data center located in Al Khor or on the longest area. So any banking sector or any company who wish to have their data center, instead of they are placing their data center or the server in their own premises, they're keeping the data center under the government, Qatar government. So we are leasing the space, leasing the rack in the data center physical location, as well as in the disaster recovery physical location. So one server will be on the data center, one is in the disaster recovery. You know Wadi Salah, here in Doha, they have a big data center, 1, 2, 3, 4. And majority of every big company data center is physically located over there. And the disaster recovery located in the remote area. We'll go into that topic later. So let's see, you are much clear about two-tier, if I'm not wrong. Two-tier means all your edge devices, which is the lowest product, for example, camera, system, laptop, printer, access control systems, BMS, whatsoever, all are connected to your access switch. And your direct internet services, which is the main core functionality, is being connected to your MDF. Let's say, what is the meaning of three-tier hierarchy? If you have any confusion, you can reach me back. I'm just giving you an overview of today. Let's say we'll talk about the camera. Okay, my requirement, I have 300 camera, which is copper cable, copper camera, and fiber camera both. Okay, now this camera require a VMS, which is one of the famous VMS called Milestone. Video management software. Milestone is one of the VMS, which is nothing but in order to record that we require a software to configure all the camera. Then this software need to be physically placed in one server. Oh, I need a server. Generally, the server, for example, from Dell, R740. Okay, Dell R740. My requirement, I need a, hope you are catching my points, right? I don't want to go myself fast and you will be stay back. Hope we are on the same page. Example, my requirement, I need a recording server 1, recording server 2, and FOS, failover recording server. So I need a 3 Dell R740. The first two, Dell R740 is a physical Dell server to install the VMS Milestone software. The VMS Milestone software will help us to properly configure and analyze all my cameras. So I need one recording server, second recording server, and the failover recording server. And there are many more within the CCTV platform.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do we need 2 recording server?
Because if I have a plenty of, like for example, I can consider 900 cameras, or let's say I can consider 600 cameras. The 300 will be recording in one and 300 will be recording to 2.
So just for the management?
Yes.
You mean?
Yeah. No.
Thank you, sir.
I have a failover recording server. If my recording server is failed, I can get the data from my failover recording server. Other than this, I have a watch list, failover watch list, face recognition, failover face recognition, then the management server, backup management server, ANPR server, backup, and there are many within the CCTV design, depends on the requirements. Here, this recording server, I need to connect it to the network. Okay, my camera connected to the network in terms of access switch. I cannot connect my Dell server into the core switch. No. Why no? That is not a good design. I need a separate switch architecture for connecting my servers. That is called server farm, FARM, farm switch. You may have heard about the series called Nexus, NU. Nexus series. Like for example, Nexus 2000, 3000, 5000, 7000, 9000. These are the model number. Hope you can getting my points. So Nexus is nothing but a series of switch which can be implemented only for connecting servers. So I'm introducing as an example Nexus switch. Let's say 5K. 5K is absoluted now, no more 5K. So been going to 7K. So as an example, I'm going to use 5K. I always recommended to go with a 2 switch as a one group. Why 2 switch? Every my server having 2 NIC card minimum for data. So this is my one of the recording server, which is Dell R740. It has a 2 NIC card, which is not meant by myself. It just have only 2. No, they have more, but we are going to take only 2 for a time being. So I'm going to use NIC 1 to my core switch 1, sorry, server farm switch 1, and the second NIC card from the same server connecting to the server farm switch 2. Why I'm connecting to? In order for the high bandwidth. Let's say I'm going to use the port number 1 from here, port number 1 from here. Maybe this is let's say 48 port switch. And this is 48 port switch. The first port of the switch I'm going to use to the recording server 1. And I have a recording server 2, which is the same R740 series. I have a 2 more NIC card. I'm going to use another port from the core 1 and core 2. The way I can use the number of available servers to my core switch, to my server farm switch. Okay, so adding an extra page for the summary. I have, what do I have? I have 2 server switch 1 and server switch 2. I have Dell server 1. I have Dell server 2. Here, my Dell server have NIC, let's say 27, Dell R740. Dell R740, my server. I have a 2 NIC card connecting here and connecting here. For the best redundancy, I have another R740, which has again 2 more. Also, it has an extra NIC card, which we call it as an iDRAC for the management purpose only. And these 2 for data, transferring the data. So this I'll connect it here, and this I'll connect it here. Okay, now my Dell servers are connected. The Dell servers are for configuring the or the basic recording of my entire cameras. Now I have access switch. I connected camera, let's say camera 1 to this switch. The way I connected, for example, this is a 48 port switch. I connected, let's say 35 camera. According to an MOI, 20% of spare ports need to be available in each switch. This camera switch, access switch called IDF, connected to my core switch, core 1 and core 2. The camera, generally, I'm using copper cable, or what we call Cat6, Cat7 kind of cable. But keep in mind, there are camera which have the fiber port as well. But always recommended, when you have an interconnection between switch to switch, always use fiber, called SFP. You may have a doubt about what is SFP. We'll talk later. Now I need to connect the camera, going to talk to the server for feeding the data. So the core 1 and core 2 need to talk to server farm switch 1 and server farm switch 2. This example, we're going to say 7,000 series of core switch, server farm switch. These need to talk each other. So I'm going to connect like this. Okay. There are one more area is missing from here, which is called storage. You may heard about storage. Like according to an MOI, we need to keep 120 days backup. For keeping 120 days backup, I need a separate storage. So you may have a question. People can go with the NVR with the backup storage. People can go with the Dell with the backup for the storage. Why do you need a separate storage? Again, I'm going to say you, the requirement we can design in a various manner, various methodology. Depends on the customer budgetary. But we need to know why the best possibility to design in the biggest methodology. Like for example, here, 1, 2, 3, which is called 3-tier hierarchy. I have access switch, I have a core switch, I have a server farm switch, which is called 3-tier. If I have an access switch and if I have a core switch, called 2-tier. Some people will consider only for one switch for camera connection and the same switch for connecting the NVR. So the core and the access by itself, a single switch, that's also can be acceptable, but not in a good design for the biggest or the large enterprise infrastructure. We'll learn each other in later stage. So I just wanted to show you how look the 7,000 core switch or the server farm switch. I hope until now you cleared the area. Any doubt? Okay, I'll show you the core switch, how it look like. Cisco 7,000. Okay, I'll show you later. Fine. So this is one of the architectural idea. So going back to the design. If you look into here, you can see the 3E switch, which is called as access switch, connected to one core. And the core will have a separate server farm. Then the top of the core, they have a firewall. That firewall connected to internet via the gateway. Okay, so keep in mind, when you design the network, you need to know access switch level, which is connecting all your edge devices, and the core switch, which is connected to your external. Then you connect it to the internet. So let's say I have one other requirement. I have building 1, which is my core central building, and I have building 2, building 3, building 4, and building 5. Every building have many edge devices. Therefore, I'm using here access switch. Let's say in this building 2, I have floor 3, or let's say floor 2, floor 1, mezzanine, ground. And each floor, I have edge devices where I need access switch. So how many access switch I have? 4 access switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. The way this building 3, like campus, I have 4 access switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, this is the building 1, where is the main office, where I have MDF. So this is called, let's say, IDF 1, IDF 2, IDF 3, IDF 4, IDF 5. The way I have IDF. IDF is nothing but your access switch has been connected. You have a MDF where you have a core switch. Let's say you have a 2 core, core 2 and core 1. Now, being in the previous design, all the access switch should connect it to the core switch. You may think that the access switch 4 can connect it to access switch 3, and 3 can connect it to 2, 2 can connect it to 1, 1 can connect it to your core. Yes, you can be thinking this way also. This is the false design. It's not a good design. The best way, always your access switch should be directly connected to your core switch, which means I have a 2 core. So every access switch should connect it to 2 cable towards to the core 1 and towards to the core 2. So in this design, how do I need to connect? One of the methodology, IDF 1 should connect it to like this. Okay. Then the IDF 2. Should connect it to like this, right? This is not the good design, because you need to pull the cable in a kilometer way underneath, and you pulling the multiple cables is cost, and it is not even best design. So the best option that every building, you need to keep one or two distribution switch. What we call it as distribution switch. This building also I have distribution switch. So from building 2, all the access switch will be connected to your distribution switch. Okay. The cable is not like this. This must be go through in a common way, which is called cabling infrastructure. That's the different case, but I'm just mentioning like this only for easy to understand. So every building have its individual distribution switch, and that's been connected back to all the access switches. And the distribution switch is connecting to your core 1 and core 2. Core 1 and core 2. So if you thinking this design, you will have server farm switch for connecting servers. This all your servers connecting to your server farm switch. Or even you can connect to your storage. Example, Isilon storage, or have you heard about Dell EMC? That's one of the storage. EMC is the storage. They are incorporated with the Dell, and they release the box in the name of Dell EMC. The storage again connected to your server farm switch. Then you have core switch 1, core switch 2, connecting to your server farm switch. Or even I can connect the cross connection, 4-link. We'll learn how to connect the 4-link and all. Now, I have a multiple building. Let's say in building 1, I have a floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. I have an access switch here, access switch here. Same thing, I have a building 2. I have a floor 1. I have a floor 2. I have a floor 3. There I have access switch in each floor. I mean, I have an IDF in each floor. And the IDF will have access switch, which is connected to my, what we call, let's say, I connected to my distribution switch. And the distribution switch is back connected to my core. Or even I can connect the cross-link. Okay. So I have access switch, core switch. Sorry, I have an access switch, distribution switch, core switch, and server farm switch all together. So here I have 4-tier hierarchy. Hope you understand in something about the designing. Any doubt? So the shared PDF document, the majority topic, which are basic about the LAN and WAN. Okay, I hope I don't wanted to explain in detail about the basic stuff, even though I will go with the common area in order to cover all the given topics for us to be on the same page. Now you can ask the question if you have any. Our major intention, let's say the CCNA, I'm just not going through to teach as per the book. No, I'm going to teach you as per the real concern, where the networking terminology and the design and the input that we need to implement. So then you can easily refer the book. Once you complete the studies, you need to know where are my knowledge can be developed or my knowledge can be utilized. Or when the customer is asking something to me, whether can be use my existing knowledge from CCNA, which is valid in order to give a best fruitful answer to the customer in order to make customer happy. And only the 50% of effort is mine, and the rest of entire effort is based on your interest and your operation. What I meant that I'm going to give you a lot of homework starting from the next session that you can need to go through to brush up by yourself with having a lot of notes in the labs. So that make more sense for you to keep in clear-cut idea about the topics. Okay, so if you do like a practice by yourself, I can go deep into each topic. Okay, so learning CCNA is not tough, but what did you learn? How can we approach towards the customer is making sense. That if somebody asked you the question, your answer must be the valid and the final answer. And you must be clear-cut, confident that, yes, what I'm saying is the right things towards to the respective team. Hope you understood. We can continue the session by next week. Let's say we'll keep you update. And the meanwhile, we can go through the given topic. I recommended everyone to go through all the given slides and back to us on the group, on the individual, if you have any questions. The given topic or the shared PDF, the majority topics are very basics. And even I'll go through in detail if required in any area. Okay. Do you have any doubt, any concern? Do not consider as a sir, as a students. No, it's a friends. It's open circle. Our interested to learn more, understand more, because you're paying as a money, you're paying as your cost, as your time as an involvement. So you need to make more utilization, more effort, and more return from my side in order to make more confident in your knowledge, which can help you much in the future. MashaAllah. Inshallah. Okay. So hope we can wind up the session today. So if you don't have any questions furthermore. And one more thing, going forward in some of the topic that we may take more times when we do start lab, start focusing on any specific area, we might need to finish that topic in the same day itself. So we'll go for a little longer, but it is purely based on the given topic. Otherwise, we would have restart the topic again from the ongoing classes, which kill the additional time unexpectedly. Okay, and if you want me, if I'm fast on my conversation, it can be asked so that I can make it a little bit slow, or even I could talk to in Tamil, I could talk to in Kannada, I could talk to in Malayalam or in Telugu, wish to your language if you wish to go through, inshallah. Okay, so thank you for joining in my session, mashallah. Have a good time. I'll share you the file, the recorded file to you over the group from my YouTube channel, because I cannot send the file directly. So it must go through YouTube channel because the file size is very high. Therefore, I recommended you to go through and watch the YouTube channel if you didn't clear the topic during the session, inshallah. Okay, and I wish to, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, have a good time. Bye.